Are any elves remaining in Middle-earth? Delving into the departure of the elves. Welcome, fellow adventurers, and thank you for joining Realms Revealed. Today we embark on a quest to unravel one of its most intriguing enigmas. Are any elves remaining in Middle-earth? As we delve into the departure of the elves, we'll uncover a tapestry of choices, mysteries, and legacies left behind. Did all elves depart, or do whispers of their presence still echo in the corners of the world? Let's find out. The Last Ship and its Enigmatic Passengers. In the annals of Middle-earth history, few events stir the imagination quite like the departure of the elves. At the heart of this departure lies the enigmatic vessel known as the Last Ship, a symbol of the fading glory of Elvenkind in the mortal lands. Central to the mystique of the Last Ship is the trio of 11 kings who embarked upon its final voyage, leaving behind the shores of Middle-earth for the timeless realm of Valinor. J.R.R. Tolkien's poem The Last Ship offers a glimpse into the splendor and solemnity of this departure. The poem paints a vivid picture of a ship of ethereal beauty with a golden beak, white timbers, and a tall prow guided by swans. This imagery evokes the elegance and grace of elven craftsmanship, showcasing the skill and artistry of a people whose time in Middle-earth draws to a close. At the helm of the Last Ship stand three enigmatic figures, Celeborn, Thandel, and Caidan. Celeborn, renowned as one of the last Elven Kings to rule over Lasgale, embodies the spirit of the woodland realm. As the ruler of a realm nestled among the ancient trees of the forest, Celeborn's reign was marked by a deep connection to nature and a fierce determination to protect his people. Under his leadership, Lasgale flourished, its borders secure and its people thriving. Thandel, the revered lord of Lothlorien, holds sway over one of the most iconic realms in elven lore. Nestled amidst the golden leaves of the Malorn trees, Lothlorien is a realm of ethereal beauty and timeless grace. As its ruler, Thandel embodies the elegance and wisdom of the Galadrim, guiding his people with a steady hand and a compassionate heart. Under his stewardship, Lothlorien remained a sanctuary of peace and beauty amidst the tumult of Middle-earth. Caidan, the wise and ancient lord of Lindon, brings a touch of mystery to the ensemble. Renowned for his mastery of shipbuilding, Caidan's presence on the Last Ship speaks to the importance of craftsmanship and tradition in elven culture. As the last remnants of elven nobility set sail for the undying lands, Caidan's skills as a shipwright ensured their journey was both one of beauty and safety. These Elven Kings represent the last remnants of elven nobility in Middle-earth, their presence on the final voyage signifying the passing of an era. Celeborn and Thandel, revered rulers of Lasgale and Lothlorien respectively, are well known to scholars of elven history. However, it is Caidan, the wise and ancient lord of Lindon, who adds a touch of mystery to the ensemble. Renowned for his mastery of shipbuilding, Caidan's presence on the Last Ship speaks to the importance of craftsmanship and tradition in elven culture. Speculations abound regarding the timing of the Last Ship's departure. Many scholars believe it occurred around the passing of King Elessar in the 120th year of the Fourth Age. This conjecture is supported by Aragorn's poignant conversation with Arwen on his deathbed, where he speaks of the choice between repentance and departing to the Havens. Aragorn's belief that Caidan still lingers in Middle-earth implies that the Last Ship had not yet sailed by that time. Further clues are found in Arwen's solemn journey to Lothlorien after Aragorn's passing. While she finds Celeborn already departed, there is no confirmation that the Last Ship had set sail. Tolkien's mention of some elves dwelling in Lindon before setting sail suggests that the Last Ship's departure may have occurred after Aragorn's death, leaving room for further speculation. In essence, the Last Ship embodies the culmination of elven history in Middle-earth. Its departure marks the end of an era, as the last remnants of elven nobility turn their gaze towards the undying lands. Yet the mystery surrounding its timing and passengers continues to captivate scholars and enthusiasts alike, adding layers of intrigue to the rich tapestry of Middle-earth lore. Legolas's quest and the crafting of his own ship. While the departure of the last ship marked the end of an era for the elves of Middle-earth, it did not signal the end of their presence entirely. Among those who chose to remain was Legolas, Prince of Mirkwood, whose quest to sail to Valinor echoes the spirit of his ancestors' journey. Following the War of the Ring, Legolas sought and received the blessing of his father, Thranduil, to lead some of the elves of Mirkwood on a new venture. His eyes were set on Ithilien region, rejuvenated by the fall of Sauron and the restoration of peace. This move was an opportunity for elves under Legolas's guidance to bring their ancient wisdom and harmony to a land healing from the scars of war. In the year 120 of the Fourth Age, following the passing of his friend Aragorn, Legolas set about crafting his own ship, a vessel destined for the fabled shores of Valinor. This decision to build his own ship suggests that Legolas may have missed the last ship's departure, prompting him to embark on his own journey. Legolas's grey shift, crafted in Aelan, symbolises his determination to follow in the footsteps of his ancestors and seek the bliss of the Undying Lands. Accompanied by Gimli, his loyal friend and companion, Legolas sailed down the Anduin bound for the distant shores of Valinor. As their ship passed into the west, it marked the end of the Fellowship of the Ring, signalling the final departure of elves from Middle-earth. In recounting Legolas's quest, we are presented with two possible scenarios, one where Legolas sails after the last ship, and one where he sails before. In either scenario, Legolas's journey represents a continuation of the Elven legacy in Middle-earth, as he seeks to join his kin in the Undying Lands and leave behind a world forever changed by their presence. Possibility of elves choosing to remain. Amidst the departure of the last ship and Legolas's quest to sail to Valinor, questions linger about whether all elves chose to leave Middle-earth. While the allure of the Undying Lands beckoned many, there were those who elected to remain behind, their fate intertwined with the fate of the mortal world. One such group is the Avari, a branch of the Elven race that refused Orome's call to Valinor in fear and uncertainty. In the earliest days of the elves, when Orome first discovered them, the Avari chose to remain in Middle-earth, wary of the unknown dangers that awaited them in the Undying Lands. Their decision to stay rooted them in the familiar lands of their awakening, setting them apart from their kin who journeyed westward. Another group is the settled elves of under Legolas's leadership. These elves chose to remain in Middle-earth, committing themselves to the rejuvenation of the land and the healing of its wounds. Their settlement in Athlon was not a transient endeavour, but a committed choice to stay and assist further in the healing of the lands of Middle-earth. Furthermore, there were elves distant from the sea who may not have felt the pull of the sea longing as strongly as their kin. For them, the prospect of embarking upon unfamiliar waters held little appeal, and they chose to remain in the lands they knew and loved, despite the changes wrought by time and fate. In essence, the decision for elves to remain in Middle-earth was not one made lightly. It was rooted in a deep sense of commitment to the land and its people, as well as a recognition of the role they could play in shaping its future. While the departure of the last ship and Legolas's quest marked the end of an era for the elves, their legacy lived on in those who chose to remain behind. Their stories intertwined with the fate of Middle-earth itself. The gentle resignation of those who stayed. As the last ship sailed into the west and Legolas embarked on his quest, a sense of finality settled over Middle-earth. Yet amidst the departure of the last ship and Legolas's journey, questions lingered about the fate of those elves who chose to remain behind. What awaited them in a world destined to change, devoid of the timeless grace of their departing kin? For those who stayed, their decision was not made lightly. It was a choice born of love for the land they called home, a commitment to its people, and a recognition of the role they could play in shaping its future. Though the Undying Lands beckoned with promises of eternal bliss, there were those who chose to embrace the mortal world with all its joys and sorrows, its triumphs and tragedies. Among those who stayed were the Avari branch of the Elven race that refused Oromir's call to Valinor in fear and uncertainty. For them, the familiar lands of Middle-earth held a sense of comfort and security, a refuge from the unknown dangers that awaited them in the Undying Lands. Their decision to remain was not a rejection of their kin, but a choice to chart their own path in a world that was forever changing. Similarly, the settled elves of Ethelon under Legolas's leadership chose to remain in Middle-earth, committing themselves to the rejuvenation of the land and the healing of its wounds. Their settlement in Ethelon was not a transient endeavour, but a committed choice to stay and assisted further in the healing of the lands of Middle-earth. For them, the prospect of embarking upon unfamiliar waters held little appeal, and they chose to remain in the lands they knew and loved despite the changes wrought by time and fate. As the years passed and the age of elves waned, those who stayed embraced their fate with a gentle resignation. They knew that their time in Middle-earth was limited, that eventually they too would fade into the whispering winds of time, their memories becoming faint echoes in the annals of history. Yet for a time they remained, their presence a reminder of the enduring spirit of Elvenkind, and their commitment to the land they called home. In the end, the tale of the elves does not close with a single definitive farewell. Instead, it is a story of myriad choices and paths taken by individuals and communities alike. While some chose to depart for the Undying Lands, seeking eternal bliss beyond the confines of mortal lands, others chose to remain behind, their fate intertwined with the fate of Middle-earth itself. As we reflect on their legacy, we are reminded of the timeless grace and enduring spirit of Elvenkind, whose presence will forever be felt in the enchanted realms of Middle-earth. In the annals of Middle-earth's history, the departure of the elves holds a place of reverence and fascination, from the enigmatic last ship to Legolas's quest to sail to Valinor. The choices made by the Elvenkind in their final days continue to captivate scholars and enthusiasts alike. Yet amidst the departure of the last ship and Legolas's journey, questions linger about the fate of those who chose to remain behind. For those who stayed, their decision was not made lightly. It was a choice born of love for the land they called home, a commitment to its people, and a recognition of the role they could play in shaping its future. Though the Undying Lands beckoned with promises of eternal bliss, there were those who chose to embrace the mortal world with all its joys and sorrows, its triumphs and its tragedies. As we reflect on their legacy, we are reminded of the timeless grace and enduring spirit of Elvenkind, whose presence will be forever felt in the enchanted realms of Middle-earth. Though their departure marked the end of an era, their legacy lived on in those who chose to remain behind, their stories intertwined with the fate of Middle-earth itself. As we bid farewell to the elves, we do so with gratitude for the timeless beauty and enduring wisdom they bestowed upon the mortal world, leaving behind a legacy that will never be forgotten. Thank you for accompanying us on this exploration of the departure of the elves in Middle-earth. I hope you found it as fascinating as we did. If you enjoyed this journey through Elven lore, please leave a comment below and share your thoughts. We'd love to hear your insights and reflections. If you have any suggestions for future topics or lore you'd like us to delve into, don't hesitate to let us know. Remember to like, share and subscribe to stay updated on our adventures through the realms of Middle-earth. Until our paths cross again, may the light of Aman guide your way. This is Realms Revealed, bidding you farewell for now.